Southeast Asia Grand Finals of the Spring Doubles Championship happening right now in just a second. Maybe not.
In just a second.
Okay,
yeah, there you go. A couple second delay. What a good way to begin the Grand Finals with a little bit of good sportsmanship.
All right, so we are seeing the mirror match right here from these players. The big question is, how do they handle the 1v2s?
Now, so far, we are seeing a lot of conversions coming out from either side. Taxiivation and Serenity potentially coming out just a little bit out on top. Neutral Signature will be catching both of them, dealing a ton of damage. And Taxiivation, he has a new kind of dedication.
Okay, Serenity will fall right here. Tax just wants to run right into both members of Red, so you know, we're keeping this action going. Serenity, though, off the left side as we're looking at Tax.
And there we go. That already, Serenity and Taxiivation able to get that lead. Plum able to even that out very quickly, though, with a nice spear string going into the ground pound now as well. These guys are devastating, man. We're hyping up Taxiivation and Serenity so much, we forget to remember that Keith and Plum, there's a reason. There's a reason they're in Grands. They're also not in winner's side.
Okay, we've split off into true mirrors right now. Ulgrim the Ulgrim. Chun-Li off stage right here, but Keith wants to set the tempo a little bit, trying to mix things up. Okay,
able to connect that D-Light. Going all the way down, that there is going to be connecting onto the teammate instead. Going to be regaining composure quickly afterwards, though. Still very even. Plum getting quite damaged as well, all the way down in orange now. Is able to get that landing, though he won't. He gets team comboed by like 3 different people. And it's still going to be Keith going down instead of him. Plum, really good at sustaining his stock so far.
Okay, slight lead over in favor of blue right now. Taxiivation can fall at any moment, but so could Plum. It's going to be the GC right there to convert. Wonderful stuff right here, and it does force the 2v1 for Taxiivation right there. Double throw will make it last stock.
Plum all the way down in red here. Taxiivation definitely needs to target Plum out, but Plum knows it. That's why he's playing a little bit more aerially, not giving him any opportunities. Plum gets one attack in on Taxiivation, and they are both just able to grab onto that momentum. Gets Taxiivation all the way down into orange.
And just like that, yeah, you catch one player on red pressing a button, and the other is just right on top of you. It's game 1. Plum and Keith taking the lead.
Beautifully played, able to get so many good conversions in the initial stages over the game, and to finish it off, they play a really good 2v1 as well. These guys, I mean, Taxiivation and Serenity, they're really good at playing off of each other. Plum and Keith seems to be just as good, but potentially they have just a slight upper hand in the neutral game.
Absolutely. The stocks were flying for sure coming into this set, but oh man, the momentum might be snuffed out for as much as we've been talking about it.
We're seeing the players getting ready for the next game. I can only imagine we're going to be seeing the same legends coming out. I do also want to mention the differences in the accuracy and usage of attacks might be the most interesting now that we actually have the same legends. We see Plum using 7 signatures against 8 signatures on Taxiivation, both on Wushang. They're both using those signatures a ton. On the other hand, Keith and Serenity, only 1 signature, both of which were missed. This is an accurate reflection.
It is pretty evenly matched as reflected by their characters as well. We'll change the scenery a little bit going over the Western Air Temple and going to game 2.
Going to game 2, Plum and Keith able to pick up that first one, and they already on top of being in the winner's side, getting that initial game. I mean, these guys, they're feeling good right now.
Oh yeah. Let's see, we've divided off once again into our 1v1s.
I can't believe we missed this. Serenity has swapped over to the Orion.
Oh my god, yeah, I didn't even notice.
Last time we saw
Okay.
the Orion come out is when taxiivation and Serenity swapped from being a really good team to when they really had their momentum. So perhaps this is kind of the regain composure kind of pick. But Plum
It might be,
charging
but-
up that D-Sig for so long and still able to connect it.
Yeah, as you say, it almost a full stock lead in favor of red. Plum will begin to start seeing red, though, on that damage bar. And just like that, out in a hurry.
Side signature comes out, and that is indeed going to end that stock up. Now, Serenity and taxiivation, Plum super far up. These guys, both of these teams, they're not afraid to taking these risks. Always, or not always, but very often in these high risk, high reward positions. Plum trying to charge up that DC again. This time around it won't be connecting.
Serenity patiently waiting for the commit to come through on either player for red. Oh no! Wires get crossed right there. Plum finds the combo onto Keith instead, and that might be enough damage. No, it's not going to be a KO off the right side just yet. Plum. Ground pounds come through. Not going to get too much now. Look at that one. The unarmed KO from the Ulgrim.
Plum's spear is absolutely horrifying, man. I mean, he made that one side signature on his teammate, which would have been devastating, but his pure skill on the spear just outweighed it, because he was able to create those encounters and those combos anyway, to where he's able to get the stocks off.
Serenity was jockeying for the pogo right there, was able to get it as well. Keith not able to help out for his teammate. Everyone's at one.
Plum not able to connect that Nair, quite close though. Ser comes out, tries to keep that pressure up as we separate into two separate 1v1s here. taxiivation and Serenity, of course, the first players to try and connect it back, trying to look for some team combos, but Keith and Plum might not really be looking for them to be able to do that.
Serenity looked like he had the right read right there. Double pogo's gonna come through, make it 3. No, not yet. Taxiivation still hanging on to this last stock, but both blue team members suffering in the red right now. Stock trade? No, advantage to red.
Side
my
signature,
gosh.
stock trade does come, it's just a little bit late, and there's the second one. Plum able to connect that side signature, and it's 2-0 on the board. Serenity and taxiivation, they need to win 3 games straight to reset, and then they need to win another best out of 5. Plum and Keith, they have momentum. They have all of the numbers in their favor. Could they be the ones to decrown the most recently crowned Southeast Asian champions? The
Is it
gold
too little?
medalists of last tournament.
Could it be too little too late, though, like you were saying? The name of the game was taking this momentum and running with it. Serenity and taxiivation played 5 straight sets, or 4 straight sets to get here, excuse me. They might have it all shut down in an instant, though, with a 3-0. It starts with this first game to get on the board.
And it's going to be on Demon Island. Plum already with a massive commitment onto the on the off stage, completely unfazed by what is at stake. These guys are feeling themselves. They have such a massive lead at this point. They're starting to go for some of those options now.
All right, Serenity looking for an opportunity to get in, but gets scooped up by Plum on the way down. Plum scouts it all the way out to get first strike.
Keith able to pick up that ground pound. Could have been a team combo, but Plum trying to go for the D-Light. Now 2v1 against Keith. Endlight comes out.
Okay.
Not maintaining the pressure, trying to swap it over to Plum, but Plum fights back.
And now it's a 2v1 for red right there. Serenity just barely scrapes his way out. Has to touch the ground now.
This is a complete 180 of the last game. We saw so many isolated 1v1s still.
Yeah.
It's so quickly swapping from 1v1s to then being a couple of team combos.
Off stage now, Plum threading the needle right there, getting around taxiivation, but out of resources, no, able to touch the wall.
D-Light comes out. D-Signature, that's not working against taxiivation and Serenity anymore. They figured out the secret to evading that signature of Plum. D-Light Ser comes out, then Enisig picks up from behind, and Plum goes down to last just like that. Serenity and taxiivation, they're still in the game. The dream is alive.
Evading more than taxes right now. They're looking like they're trying to evade that 3-0 and get this first game on the board. Taxiivation looking for the alley-oop right there. Serenity not able to pick it up, but it is off stage for all 4 players. Serenity will be the one to fall right here. Taxiivation soon to follow as well, but it's pretty high damage for red team. I'd say the lead is still in blue's favor.
The lead is still in blue's favor, but Keith and Plum are still in the game. Sideline there comes out. Make that a three-piece. Keith going for a large commitment. He's only ever so slightly damaged on this first stock. He wants to try and balance this out as soon as possible, and he does so successfully. Taxiivation is orange.
Oh my gosh, yeah, look at this four-player scramble right now, too. Keith and Plum are eating it up. Taxiivation breaking up the action right there. Swap into the gauntlets as well to try to close that one out. Not gonna happen just yet.
Ground pound, almost enough to get a knockout onto Taxiivation. He's getting more and more damage, but Keith and Plum are still the most damaged players on the board. They just need to find the knockouts.
Serenity jockeying for position. Taxman's coming through, getting the KO off the top. It's a 2v1 now.
Again, Taxiivation, the D-Light series' greatest enemy, but there's still another chance. They still got fighting chances, but Plum against the D-Light recovery. Plum, this would be the 1v1 of the century. So far down. Basically anything will knock out at this point. Taxiivation. Will he find the hits?
Will do it, but I mean, a single conversion from Plum can end the tournament right now, but it's not in the cards. Taxiivation keeps the team alive.
And they are going to set 2-1 on the scoreboard. Again, getting one game off, proving to not only yourself and your teammates, the viewers, and everyone that it is possible and they can get that game off. That's where the tides can turn. Plum and Keith, they were looking solid for us really, really long time, and that is the only time that we have seen them just ever so slightly crumble.
Oh yeah, and the word of the day we have had written on the chalkboard, folks, is momentum. They pick up this one game, Serenity and Taxiivation. Could this be the small push they need to bring this one all the way back to a bracket reset?
Only time will tell, as they are readying up for the next game, trying to regain composure, perhaps taking a couple of heavy breaths. I mean, you're undergoing a lot of pressure at this point. Losing 2 games in a row, finally winning one, you're probably going to want to share a word or two with your teammates.
Taking a moment, for sure. Polly, I am at a loss, man. How are you feeling?
Dude, I have goosebumps. Straight up, I have goosebumps. Liplump and Keith going up against Taxiivation and Serenity. What an amazing matchup that we are seeing right now. And I can't lie, it is. I couldn't ask for anything better. Keith and Plum, they lost the game, man, and that changes everything.
Yeah, and we will be seeing a stage swap coming through for game 4. Again, elimination on the line here. Tournament could end in just a moment in favor of Keith and LaPlum. But we'll see it in a second. The Miami Dome did allow Serenity and Taxiivation to find a few more team combos there, maybe by virtue of that second platform being there. Let's see if the change in scenery here allows the tournament to end.
Oh my god, I'm hearing so many nair. Serenity and Keith, they cannot be stopped. Throwing them out left and right, top and center. Big team combo coming out. What is that, dude? Team combos with like 3 different people.
Yes, yeah, and it looked like Plum was trying to come in to break up the action right there. Ends up hitting Keith. Doesn't matter, it's going to be a stock trade here for both the Chung-Lees.
Dangerous situation for Plum, but Serenity doesn't want to try and capitalize off of it. He has that extra stock in the bag, and he wants to try and maintain it for as long as he can, or at the very least until he's able to take one off of Keith.
Serenity gets disarmed in the process, has to swap over.
Taxiivation is already on last.
Ooh, a little bit of a commit right there, but does not get punished. Serenity still in the red right here. Has to kind of tread carefully. That Lance is not going to do it.
Recovery comes out. It's almost enough to find that knockout, but not just yet. Both players. Plum able to get a couple of dares in, a little bit of a pogo, but I mean, at this point, that's exactly what you're looking for. You're looking for these small attacks. You already have that lead in the back. Plum and Keith, all they need to do now is extend it, take those even trades, and win this game.
Polly, I looked away for a second and just noticed Taxiivation is on last stock.
Yeah,
I don't even know when that happened. That's insane. Tax
it happened early. It happened early. Taxiivation is going to have to play this so carefully, but if they're able to get that stock off of Plum, this is going to be a completely different story.
Oh yeah. Serenity needing to play a little bit front right here just by virtue of this. Plum will fall to last stock as well. Tax, you gotta stay in the mix.
Plum and Keith, they're so good. As soon as the enemies are a little bit damaged, you hit them once, they get knocked away super far, and that gives you a 2v1. But taxiivation, what was that? He chase dodged through the weapon and it hit Plum. What was that play from taxiivation?
Put it in the montage. Put it in the montage. The Taxman has come to collect. Serenity picks up the pieces right there, and somehow everything has swung in favor of blue. I can't believe it.
taxiivation and Serenity are one team combo away from turning this into a match point, a game 5. Keith is still in the game though. He needs maybe just one good attack onto taxiivation to get that stock off, or at the very least get him into a position where he can find that knockout.
Okay, action gets started right there with a light hit from Serenity, but Keith, again, looking to find his opening. The target is, of course, taxiivation with that high damage, but Keith will take anything he can hit safely.
Keith is playing too well, man. Taxiivation and Serenity, they're starting to sweat a little bit, starting to tremble. Keith, still a single aerial away potentially from getting that stock off of taxiivation, and Serenity and taxiivation, they haven't really been able to get any of those massive openings. They get a team conversion.
Disarmed as well. Disarmed as well.
To be a knockout.
Okay, Keith needs to find a weapon, but he's not gonna find it just yet. Disarm recovery will get off me for just a moment, but I don't think it's gonna be enough, Polly.
Recovery comes out, won't be connecting. There comes, and there it is. Serenity and taxiivation are going to be taking it to a game 5.
Give me the replay right now. I gotta see the Taxman come through. This was the changing moment, the turning point for Blue, man. I cannot believe it worked out this way.
Look at this. Sarah comes out. Gets the GC. Oh, we didn't get to see the entire thing. The aerial came out. He comboed it with a GC side signature. Keith throws his Lance to try and take out taxiivation. Taxiivation chase dodges through it, and the weapon throw instead hits Plum. The stars aligned in a way that I haven't seen in a lot of clips, and that was absolutely insane. And as you mentioned, that was what gave them the opportunity. It set them up for success.
But it could all mean nothing as we go into game 5 right here. Taxiivation and Serenity knocking on the door of a reverse 3-0 to potentially just reset the bracket, and then they got to play another best of 5. But Keith and Plum can shut it down right here.
You can sense the nerves going into this game. You can sense the pressure. Just kidding, only I can, because these players, I mean, they professionals, they have the composure. They're still playing just as well as they were the game before, but this is game 5. If taxiivation and Serenity win this, it is going to be a reset. Plum and Keith don't want that to happen.
Here we go. Serenity's been on top of it with all these pogos, but overextended a little bit too far, and the weapon throw will seal the deal on first strike. Taxiivation staying alive, but not for long right there. The double chomp means a double KO, and blue team is already playing on the back foot.
Blue team gonna have to try and find these knockout as soon as possible now. Serenity swapping over to that spear. They're looking menacingly on that right side of the stage. He's able to get it out with a couple of dares, and taxiivation is trying to make episode 2 with Plum here with those dares. Not able to connect those though.
So much respect there with Plum coming back to recover. Maybe looking for a team combo right here. Serenity wants to get the side swap, not going to get it just there. Oh man, wires crossed a little bit, and Plum somehow ends up off stage and loses the stock as well.
Going for another full send ground pound, which did work successfully last time around. Plum, I mean, he had 3 stocks. He could afford to lose that stock and still be in a relatively all-right position here. He is very, very healthy here.
Serenity staying alive. Both players on red right there. Somehow this momentum shifts, and Keith is the first one to fall to last stock.
for the recovery. taxiivation just narrowly able to jump out of that. Plum now in orange, but Serenity drops down to that stock. taxiivation does too, and Plum and Keith, just like that, they have a lead now. Weapon advantage as well.
There is an opening right here. Keith is on last stock for red. Plum is getting a lot more damage on, so there's a couple avenues of approach right here. You can take out Plum, try to force the 2v1 in that window while Plum respawns, or you can go for Plum, or Keith, excuse me, right now and just force the 2v1 right out the gate. But again, you gotta keep an eye on these damage meters. It's so scary! Keith, the miscommunication right there, that could cost him!
Keith only until recently barely got hit for that stock. He has applied so much damage onto taxiivation and Serenity. Now Plum respawning as well. All players on their last stock. Again, whoever loses their first stock could be the deciding
right
factor.
Here. Serenity comes down with the ground pound. It's gonna be off the top. No, not yet. Serenity, the man to look out for right now. Keith as well. High damage. First opening means the world for either team. Serenity, nice save.
Oh, the clash on the Sair. Serenity able to get back up with an exhausted recovery. Tries to go for two more. One of which connecting. Plum returns the favor.
This has got to be it. It's got to be it. Keith and Plum close the door on it. For as much momentum as Serenity and taxiivation had, it wasn't enough.
Plum and Keith, man, they are unfazed. taxiivation or Serenity, they had the game of a lifetime just a moment ago. But Plum and Keith, they're two...